Hello everyone, Warangel here with a rather unexpected video for today. Now unfortunately I've got some bad news, but also some good news. So let's start off with the bad news first of all. So for those of you that have been following my Shogun 2 campaigns for Rise of the Samurai and For the Samurai, unfortunately I am no longer able to continue those campaigns. The reason being is because, as many people have been experiencing since the update to Warhammer 2, there's been an issue with the game and with the launcher in particular, I've been told, that has been affecting the ability to use mods with Warhammer 2. Now, I've been experiencing those myself and been spending a little while trying to get them sorted, with me able to get some of the ones for Talakwa. Sorry, what was off the tongue hard. But I've managed to get the ones I've been using for that campaign sort of working, but others have not been working. So last night I decided to give it a go, and I managed to find a way to fix it, which was to go to your user thing in, documents, user, go to app data, the creative assembly, and work your way through there. And you're supposed to just try and delete the Warhammer 2 one. But I didn't read that a little bit, and instead I accidentally permanently deleted the entire Creative Assembly folder, which includes all the save games from all the Total War games. Now, for some reason though, when I went onto Warhammer 2 to check it out, it didn't affect Talakwa because of it being a cloud save. So I didn't notice until earlier today when I went to record the Rise of the Samurai episode for today, and it wasn't there. So somehow by deleting the Creative Assembly thing, not only did it delete the local save, but also deleted the cloud save I have of both campaigns. So it means I'm not going to be able to continue with those anymore, and I have to say that does bother me. Not only because of the fact that it means I've got 2 campaigns on the channel unfinished, which does bother me about other YouTubers when they don't finish a campaign just because it hasn't proven to be unpopular and what have you, but in particular for the Samurai. Because for those who've been following it, the final episode would have been this Saturday in the next episode of it. So now I've got a nearly almost completed campaign, 1 episode away from finishing, and I can't do it. And it's really going to bug me. But, silver lining and all that. Now, the good bit. Now, I was planning once For the Samurai finished to actually start a Mortal Empires campaign using Mixu's Faction Unlocker mod. So Mixu, the creator of many of the Legendary Lord mods that people find quite popular, with custom lords for different factions. Because of the wait for the Chronosis Faction Unlocker, which I was going to be using, he's actually uploaded a faction unlocker for his characters. So any faction that has one of his characters as a legendary lord leading it, you can now play as with the game. And thanks to me fixing the mod problem with Warhammer 2 on my PC, meant now I can actually give you guys some options about which faction to play as. Now these are for the most part all custom faction starts, so they're not going to be using many of the standard ones you can play in Warhammer 2, but I thought they'd be quite interesting. And so the way we're going to do this is, down in the comment section of this video is a comment for each faction that you get to pick from. Just give a thumbs up for the factions you like the sound of, and whichever one has the most thumbs up by Sunday morning British time will be the winner, and I'll be uploading the first episode of the campaign on Monday. So with that said, let's give you guys the options. So we're going to come onto here, here, and onto here. Option 1 is going to be playing as Safari over in Ulthuan and have Belenar the Wise as our faction leader. Now Belenar the Wise is the High Lore Master of Hoeth, and Safari itself is my favourite of the Elven Kingdoms. They just always enjoy the idea of having the Tower of Hoeth, where you can have the Sword Masters trained, where Lore Masters and the magic is taught, and I just like the faction in general. So having him, who's going to be an interesting take as a character because he's a mage-focused one who can eventually become good in melee, could be quite interesting, especially with his unique skill branch. Now the only problem with this campaign is it will be pretty much a typical high elf start with Tyrion, where you will be fighting and playing against the other high elf factions until you basically conquer Ulthuan, and then we head off in a direction. So we'll see how it goes, but that is option 1. Option 2 involves their dark cousins, the Dark Elves, and in particular to play as Talavis Dreadbringer. Now, for this particular faction unlocker, he actually controls Scourge of Cain, the Dark Elf faction that starts in the north of Ultron at Nagorith. Now, this could mean a potential different campaign compared to the other, I should say, the other Dark Elves, because we'll be facing the High Elves straight away, essentially. And that could be quite interesting, and especially playing as the High Executioner of Hargarneth. I think that could be an interesting character to play as. He becomes extremely good in melee later on in the campaign, so it could be a good start. But that's option 2. Option 3 is to play as Creek Headtaker. Now, there's no particular reason why I chose to do him out of the Skaven. I just like the idea of wanting to check out the new Under Empire mechanics that have been released with the Doomsayers update, as well as some of the new stuff like the Giselles and things like that. So, again, that's my option 3 for the Skaven. Option 4 is my personal favourite, if I'm honest with you guys, and that's to play as Tutak Hanut of Numas. Now, his campaign is going to be a pretty typical Tomb King start because he's going to be down in Khemri, but he's actually a ranged focused character who can eventually get access to a War Sphinx. And not only that, but his bonuses affect mainly cavalry, so you can see here he's going to have a very cavalry based army, and the fact that he also has a very focus on gold. And so I thought he would be an interesting character. Not only that, but Numas itself in the modern day thing of Warhammer is really a thriving kingdom, so to speak, despite the fact they've got their Tomb King, or Tutankhamun, leading them. So I thought that would be quite an interesting campaign to play as, and I really would like to give it a go. But that's option 4. Option 5 then is we go over to the dwarves. We've got Cazador Dragonslayer of Karak Azul. So we'll be starting off a bit further south along the World Edge Mountains compared to the other dwarves. But I thought he'd be an interesting character. As you can see here, his focus is on Ironbreakers and Miners. And he also starts off with a particular grudge against Gorfang, I believe, this guy here. But not only that, but he also gets a big income from iron mines, as you can imagine, a faction focused on mining. And it could be quite interesting to head us south into the southern part of the World Edge Mountains and be able to encounter some of the factions there, like the Silver Throne and so on. Now, his opponent, and the other option, is Gorfang Rockgut, a character who is going to start off in the Badlands with the Red Fang tribe right next to Grimgor. But what's interesting about him, apart from his magical items and that, is that he's actually got a campaign mechanic put in which allows him to potentially confederate with Skarsnik and Grimgor Ironhide quite easily and peacefully, I should say, which allows us to really sort of have a few legendary lords then just kicking around in the faction. But again, it's going to be up to you guys. The final option then is over with the Wood Elves, where I quite like the idea of playing as Dieth of Togovan. Now, there is a mod that's been introduced with Mixu that allows us to get the Forge of Starlight, which allows the Wood Elf faction, well, him, to be able to create magical items. And not only that, but I think him himself, the Blind Swordsmith, is a very interesting character, and I think it could make a good campaign. But those are your options, so all I can say is may the best faction win. As for the third Total War chat series, because obviously I can't do either Shogun 2, which means we've only got the Talakwa one I'm doing at the moment and the winner of this one. Because I wanted to hold on until Three Kingdoms came available, because I was thinking Rise of the Samurai should have finished about then, that I don't really want to start another Total War series and then have to quickly make it finish so we can do Three Kingdoms. So what I'm going to do is, until Three Kingdoms is released, I'm going to do 3 episodes a week of this, whichever wins this campaign, and the Talakwa one, until Three Kingdoms comes available, and then it will go back to 2 a week with the Three Kingdoms faction I play as being the third one. So that's what's going to be happening with Total War videos for the next couple of weeks. So, interested to see which one wins the faction votes, and we'll see which one we play as next week. But all I can say then, guys, is thank you for watching the video. I hope you guys vote, and I look forward to speaking to you guys in the future. Take care, guys, and goodbye for now.